Okay, Ayin Daled. Bez Hashem Siman Ayin Daled.
Even people wrote a book about it. Kevin McDonald.
The Ragil Ani Lefarish, Masha Kosta Bebreshis Rabba, Perek Tes Siman Yud, Siman Zayin. In Breshis Rabba, in the Medrash, V'chein hu b'kahelis Rabba al pasuk es hakol asa yafe be'itoy. The Darshu, here's the Joshua that Chazal say, V'hinei toiv ze yetzer toiv, ma'oid ze yetzer hara. That there's a pasuk in Breshis that says, Vayar Elokim es kol asher asa, v'hinei toiv ma'oid. It was very good, right? The world was very good. So what's very good? So the Medrash, toiv, simply good, that's the yetzer toiv. But toiv ma'oid, very good, zeh yetzer hara. The yetzer hara is very good. V'hu peli. And that's a very puzzling medrash. Okay? Uva medrash atzmai hiksha. The actual medrash asked the question. It says, V'chi yetzer hara toiv ma'oid. The bad inclination is a good thing. How could that be? Esmaha. Okay? And the medrash answers, I'll show you inside what the medrash answers.
I had a neighbor in Kensington.
This is on the fourth line down. Reb Nachman on the left side, left column at the top on the fourth line down. Reb Nachman bar Shmuel bar Nachman. No, over here. B'shem Rav Shmuel bar Nachman Omar. Hinei toiv ma'oid. Zeh yetzer toiv. V'hinei toiv ma'oid. Zeh yetzer hara. And there's some kind of girsa mistake. But it's supposed to be toiv means the yetzer toiv. Toiv ma'oid is the yetzer hara. So the Gemara asks, or the Medrash asks, V'chi yetzer hara toiv ma'oid? Esmaha. Ella, here's the teretz. Ella she'ilule yetzer hara. If not for a yetzer hara, loy bana adam bayis, v'loy nasa isha. Nobody would build a house or marry a wife, because the yetzer hara is the motivation, the drive that gets a man to get married and to have children. V'loy hoili, he wouldn't have children. V'loy nasa v'nasan, he wouldn't do business, because the drive for money, the desire to get rich, makes people work. V'chein Shlomo Omer ki hi kinas ish mereyehu. It's the jealousy of one man of another that drives people to search for more and more opportunities to make money and to have more possessions.
And also, so nobody would be like about guy, but you don't speak against Zions. Like, who am I? I don't need to speak.
Oh, right. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's a good place for kina. There's a good place for gaiva sometimes. But that's not even what the Medrash is saying. The Medrash is just saying simply even the instincts of a person to go and get married and to have money, that drives the world. That keeps the world going. So the yetzer hara is toiv ma'oid. Okay, but look what the Rebbe is going to do with it. He's going to say a more like a cute vertel based on these words. Take a look. According to what we're saying, Yifarish b'derech b'dichusa. We can explain this. I'm in the third line of Siman Ayin Daled. U'darkeinu Yifarish b'derech b'dichusa. We can explain this in a kind of a joking way, half serious pshat. Dechein derech hisnagus ha'olam. Uvozeh yisvad al-adam siman muvak. He says this is the way of the world, and this is the test to see im ha'pu'ula asher yirtzeh, if the thing that you want to do, hu me'atzas ha'yetzer toiv or me'atzas ha'yetzer hara. If it's a thing from the yetzer toiv or from the yetzer hara. Meaning, like he said before in the previous siman, from the Agra de Kala, B'nai Yissaschar, that he said that if a person wants to do something very badly, and he just can't tell if the yetzer hara is making it look like a mitzvah or it really is a mitzvah. So the test is what? We just learned before. The test is that you should see if he feels the same way about other mitzvahs. If he feels the same way about all mitzvahs that he feels about this mitzvah, chances are, yes, it's a mitzvah. But if he feels good only about this one thing, he's excited to do this one thing, then that shows that he's being confused by the yetzer hara. Okay? So he says like this. Back to Siman Ayin Daled now. The kasher yiyah ha'pu'ula hahi toiv be'enav ketoiv haragil. If this thing is good in his eyes, just like everything else is good, v'yish v'cheftzei ba kivishar pu'ulos ha'toivus, and his desire for this thing is equal to his desire for other good things, oz teda shezeh me'ayetzer toiv. Then you'll know it's the yetzer toiv. It's the good inclination. Aval im toiv ma'oid, but if it's very good, meaning v'rabso hatashuka eleha, and he has a lot of desire for this thing, v'yidme b'daitcha shehu toiv ma'oid yoiser me'aragil, he thinks this thing is a very big mitzvah, more than other things, v'toiv hibenecha yoiser mishar pulas hatoivus, u'maiseh mitzvahs, then da shezeh ba me'ayetzer hara, u'mitach puloisav. You know that it's just a trick that the yetzer hara is foisting upon you, and you don't do it. Therefore, be careful of it. This good, this so-called good, is really bad for you. So basically, that's the medrash. Toiv, if it's good, meaning it's good like all other things are good, say yetzer toiv. But toiv ma'oid, if it's very good, meaning it's better than all the mitzvahs, then watch out. Then the yetzer hara. All right. V'im kacha yesh li zar b'dvar mitzvah. If that's what you have to feel when you're talking about a mitzvah, that you have to test yourself and think into it and decide whether it's really a mitzvah. Kal v'chomer sheyesh li yisboinin al tashuka v'yisragshus b'davar shehu hepech midas ha'torah ha'kdosha. Then you have to really think hard if you have a desire to do something that's against the Torah. Meaning, like even the Agudists, they still agree that Zionism, that the secular Zionists are against the Torah. They just say that we have to get excited. Look, Hashem's helping them. Nisim happened. Obviously, Hashem wanted to save them and whatever. So that kind of stuff, it's really a desire to help something that's the Hepech HaTorah. They know it too. They're just saying, okay, but you see, in this case, we have to do it. Make an exception, right? Make an exception. So if you have that desire, then you have to really watch out, right? If you have to madach by a regular mitzvah that you think is good, you have to check it. So here, where it's coming to support something, the hepech haTorah, you really have to inspect yourself. Therefore, all the more so, those people who are attracted to Zionism, you see that they don't have as much excitement over any other mitzvah. You see, these people who go, they make aliyah, they go and they join the army, chayal boded, they're, lone soldiers, they join the army, they try to help to fight, and they're all big on Zionism. Do they have the same desire and happiness over other mitzvahs? Not only that, they're not upset at any other Rishaim in the world. They're not upset at the Zionists for being Rishaim, right? Like you said before, they're only upset at the Satmar Rebbe for saying that the Zionist miracles are not miracles. They're not upset about the fact that Zionists are shmatting children, they're taking them from the Sephardi countries and bringing them to absorption camps. They're doing it so much, that doesn't bother them. The other things the Zionists did that it's against the Torah, going to tuche mesim, like they're doing autopsies against the will of the people, that doesn't bother them either. The only thing that makes them angry, makes them fired up, is kasheroyim v'shoimim yirei Hashem. When they hear people who are yirei Hashem, like Satmar Rebbe, she'enam ma'aminim b'niseim ha'koisvos, who don't believe in the miracles of the Zionists. V'niva rabam esha tavera, and the fire gets kindled in them. L'hal yoleihem v'linkoy mehem chas v'shalom, to try to look for ways to get back at them and take revenge. V'kacha tira gam b'inyan hamaman. The same contrast that you see by speaking out, that they only speak out against the Rebbe, they don't speak out against the Zionists, you see the same contrast with money. Shemefazrim toyafoy zav. They give loads of gold, of money, v'chizuk hakvir v'aminas, to support the Zionists, support the state. B'li cheshbon and b'li mispar. They give it without a cheshbon. I guess the Rebbe, in his time, they made these appeals, the United Jewish Appeal, they collected money in shuls, the Jewish federations collected money, and people supported it. Even Orthodox people supported it back then. Now, Baruch Hashem, I don't think they do anymore.
Today?
What? Yeah.
No, today they're not. Actually, read that. One of the heads of the UJA is now an Orthodox Jew. I mean, modern Orthodox, but Orthodox.
Oh, okay, all right.
APAC is
APAC, yeah,
it's
good
not
point.
very religious.
Good point. APAC collects a lot of money. So the point
And it's
is,
very religious. They have minyanim over there.
Okay. Sorry.
I think
all
the
right.
head might be Orthodox. And then, I read it in a book that in the olden days, APAC used to have tray for meals at their events.
And now it's kosher.
Yeah, now it's kosher.
I hear. So that's the thing. So people give tons of money to this, right? Look at the people who have millionaires. They're supporting politicians. How do you think these politicians get elected? Because the people who are Zionists make sure to fund them, right?
Sheldon
Adelson, right?
Baruch Hashem, he's not religious. He does not keep Shabbos kosher.
What,
Doesn't go to
Adelson?
shul, yeah.
Adelson died though.
Yeah, he's dead, but he didn't keep Shabbos kosher.
Yeah.
No.
I thought he did.
No. I read in the Washington Post he was completely non-religious,
I hear.
except for Zionism.
But there are people who give lots of money to support birthright and support nefesh, all kinds of stuff, right? They give tons of money. L'chizuk haminus v'akfira, akfira v'aminus, b'li cheshbon b'li mispar b'al chizuk moistus ha'torah. But when it comes to giving to the yeshivas, u'moistus ha'kedusha, in shuls and bati midrashim, b'derech avoseinu, that follow the path of our fathers, that follow the old path, they're not Zionists. Kasha lahasig afilu hachzaka kala. It's hard to get even a small amount of support. Ukmasha amrizal. And this is a reminder. It's a reminiscent of a Chazal. Chagiga daf Hey Amud Aleph. Zuza la'alala loy shchicha. Litlisa shchicha. Literally means money for food is not available, but money for destruction is available. Pirush Rashi lehefsid u'leibud. Money that goes in the garbage, that money is available. But money that's for simple necessities like food is not. Well, look at the context of the Gemara. Very interesting Gemara. Chagiga Hey Amud Aleph. It's in the second to last line of the page. But what is this going back on? So if you look earlier on the daf, there's a Gemara that says the last pasuk in Koheles, Ki al kol. Let's find it. Ki es kol ma'aseh ho'elakim yavi b'mishpat al kol nelam im toiv v'im ra. Last pasuk in Koheles, it says if Hashem will bring you into judgment for everything that you do, whether it's good or bad. So the Gemara's question was, what is Hashem going to punish you for the good that you did? Bishlam, the bad, but what about the good? Why is He punishing you for the good you did? Okay? So on that, the Gemara answers down here, Ushmuel Omar, in the third line from the bottom. The answer is someone who only gives money to the poor people when they're in dire straits, when they've come to a point where they have nothing. And it's B'shas Doichkoy, Rashi says it was a time of a famine in the world where the prices are high. That's when you finally give some money to tzedakah. Dr. Rashi says, "Mamsi mos la'ani b'shas doichkoy adol elkoi im toy v'im ra haragil lahamsi tzikos le'v'ani b'shas doichkoy v'loy koydem." You don't give the money earlier. Shas atchak sheyachol levakish merzoy noisav. V'loy koydem shas atchak. You don't give it earlier before the bad times start, because then the ani could have used the money. V'liknois b'shas azol, he could have bought something for cheap. But now you're giving it to him with tfisa. Which Rashi says, lehefsid u'ibud, kach shamati. You're giving it to him for hefsid, meaning he's wasting the money because now everything costs a lot more money. So the point over here, the Rebbe is borrowing the term to say people give tons of money, but they only give it to Zionism, to stuff that's a hefsid, but they don't give it for basic necessities to feed the kids who are learning in yeshiva. These are clear signs that the success of the Zionists is because of the Samach Mem. who, when we menu hem yoinkim, they're deriving their nourishment from the stomach mem. V'al kain chalila least ragesh least pa'al ministayim. That chas v'shalom, nobody should be impressed by the miracles, the chasim, their success. K'moishe rachnu le'el.
And also, that